to Katrina's Creations. This is episode 174. If you have not done so already, please click the little red subscription button down below, and if you click the little bell icon next to that, that will let you know anytime I post a video, which is always on Saturday and usually on Wednesday. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back each video and commenting and giving me a thumbs up and just getting to know our little yarny community. So yes, thank you everybody. So let's get started. This is a packed podcast today. I have not one, not two, but 3 finished objects. I also have a ton of acquisitions that are not yarn, which is really strange, but they're still fun and yeah, crafty related. So I also have that, and I went and had tea with Kim and Laureen last night, and Alex stuck her head in and said hi as well. So we've got a short little segment of that as well. So let's get started with the finished objects. My first finished object is my weaving. I finished it this week. I took it off of the loom. It did turn out to be a large infinity scarf, which I twisted it in the center. So I'm not going to put it on because my hair will turn into a frizzy mess because this has alpaca in it, but it's extremely warm. Here's what it looks like up close. You can see the herringbone pattern. And I can wear it, well, maybe I'll put it on. We'll just deal with my fuzzy hair. I can wear it like this as a regular cowl. I can also put it over my head like that to keep my neck and my ears warm. And now this is a little hard to do since I'm wearing a sweater, but I can pull it down over my shoulders. Like I said, it's a little hard to make it move with a bulky sweater on, but it works for that too. So yeah, I finished that, and this is what the back side looks like, but this is the front side. Wednesday's video this week is going to be the final segment of the weaving that was started a while back, and it is going to show how I took this off of the loom and you know how you do that. So that's going to be Wednesday's video. So anyway, that is finished object number 1, and it's really soft and warm. Finished object number 2 is my diamond art that I started like before Christmas. I started it, and then Christmas happened and I put it away because we had company. My son and daughter-in-law and all the kids were coming. And then I pulled it back out, and then my father-in-law passed away and my son and daughter-in-law came back for a week, and so I put it away again because we needed the table. So I got it pulled out again this week, and I got it finished up. So actually my daughter's kids were over and they started kind of helping me do it and found that they really kind of enjoyed it. So I got one in an acquisitions this week, and it's going to go home with to my daughter's house since the kids seem to enjoy it. So that's my second finished object, and I will insert a picture so you can see what it looks like. This is my finished diamond art. This is the fall, and I skipped over the winter one, and I also have a summer. I'm working on the spring, which is this one. Has a little bridge in it, and yeah, so that's the spring version. So I started on that because I really don't want to do anything that involves snow at this point. My third finished object is my socks. This is my 4th set of either knitted or crocheted socks. I do have 2 more socks that I've made that are in a cotton, but to be honest, and they're crocheted, but the one is wearing through really, really fast. So yeah, my goal is to have a different set of nice toasty socks for every day of the week. So here they are. This is my finished set. The other one's just like it here, but I'll just hold up one. And this has a German short row heel, so you can see it right here. This is my favorite. Well, actually my favorite is a wrapped German short row heel. I just like the angular look of it. I think it's neater looking. Probably my second favorite would be the heel flap and gusset. I just like a crisp finished thing, so that just tends to be what I like. And then the front of the sock here is just every couple of rows. It was like every fourth row I did a yarn over knit two together. So they're just little ankle socks. I don't like socks that go up my feet. I just like them like at my ankles. So there's two pairs, and that finishes up this yarn. So I got two pairs of socks from that ball of yarn. So yeah, that's finished object number 3. So it leaves only 2 works in progress that I've got going on right now. So I'll start with my knitted one, and then I'll show you my crocheted one. And I've made quite a bit of progress on my knitted one. Here is the marker where I was last week. This is a baby blanket for my grandson. I've already explained that to you before. He's 8 going on 9 years old, but they lost this in their house fire and he wanted another one. So actually he wanted the marker that went on it too, but he's not getting that. So anyway, this is where I was last week, and I have gone up to here. So I've done about 4 inches, and here's what I'm mid-row, otherwise I would open this up all the way, but that's what the pattern looks like. And I've been calling it Only the Best for Amelia. It's actually Only the Finest for Amelia. That is the name of the pattern, and it came out of an old, I think the book is out of print, but it was a Debbie Maycomer book, although you still can get it because Kim just ran across a copy. So that's what each of the panels look like, and then it's just garter stitch in between. And all total, you can see how far I am. I am just going to finish this skein of yarn, and that's going to be the end of it, and we'll be considering it done. So I'm hoping to get that finished in the next couple of weeks. Now my crocheted project, I am making the Mosaic Bucket Bag. It is a free pattern on Yarn and Chai. She does a tutorial. It's a 4-part tutorial as well. The first part tells you all the supplies you'll need. Part 1 teaches you how to do the base. Part 2 is the middle section. And Part 3 is the top and the hardware that goes to it, because it does get grommets on it. So it's kind of a, when I say a bucket bag, it's kind of rounded. It's a more oval. I guess we'd say oval. It's not really round. It's not really rectangle. It's kind of an oval base, and it has it ties like a duffel bag at the top, and then it also has a strap that you could wear it like a backpack or something if you wanted to. So here is mine. I'm doing mine in black, gray, and white. This is Sprightly acrylic from Bluprint, I believe. Yeah, Bluprint. So it's Sprightly acrylic, which is, it's really soft. It does not pill up much. I did the base in black simply because I didn't want it to show dirt, and I was afraid the lighter colors would if I sat it like down on the ground or anything. So last week I had just finished the black section. I'm making the larger bag, so there is 24 repeats of the Mosaic pattern here. And I am on 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm on 14, so I've got 11 more rows to go in order to finish this portion, and then it goes back to the black again for the top. Now I was sitting last night with coffee with Kim and Laureen, and I looked and realized I have a mistake in it. Do you see where this white is right here? And I was like, oh, I don't want to unrip. I don't want to rip back all of this all the way around. And Kim had an excellent idea. She was like, maybe you could do like a duplicate stitch. In knitting, there's a thing called a duplicate stitch where you stitch right over top of it and put designs in. I think I can fake it and put one in here. So I think we're going to recover it. So thank you, Kim, for that tip. You saved me ripping back all of that and lots of tears involved to do that. So, yeah, I'm having fun with this. It's not a hard pattern or anything, and I love the way this looks. This is called a spike stitch, but it's just a version of it's like one row is single crochet, and then you crochet over top of that single crochet row, and it creates this spike look. So it's really neat, and I'm having fun with it. And it's also giving the bag some structure because it's like double thickness here, as opposed to the base, which is like single. The bottom is, or the base of it is just single crochet. But by the time you do single crochet twice here, it gives it a little bit of structure, so the bag kind of stands up a little bit better on its own. So I'm having fun with that. So that's my other work in progress. Now it's time for show and tell, and I thought I would talk about something before we get started. First off, Pam Phillips finished we've been watching for the last 4 weeks. She's been working doing a cowl by the pineapple, and it's called the Pineapple and Pine cowl, and each week she was adding things to it and putting it over on Facebook. She finished it this week, so she has one in gray and one in white. They're gorgeous. They're done in they're just very, very textured. I really like them. So that's in there. But another thing that I thought was interesting that was in there, she did a test crochet for someone, and the pattern came out huge. And she said she followed all the instructions and everything, and it came out really, really big. And it's funny because my coworker, well, she's my supervisor actually, she and I were talking the other day, and she had the same thing happen with a pattern that she was doing, that it came out absolutely huge. And she said she had gotten gauge when she did it, but she found that she actually had to go down 5 hook sizes to make it fit the way it was supposed to fit. And so her theory, and it does make sense because it works with knitting as well. Her theory with this was, when you look at a crochet hook, some people crochet basically just at the hook or the base of the hook right here. And some people bring their stitches all the way up to here. I bring my stitches all the way up to here. And so does my coworker or my supervisor. It's wider up here than it is at the hook. So that is going to affect your gauge. And knitting is the same thing. Some people, if you look at my knitting needles, some people knit right at the points. They don't, like I tend to knit right about in here. I'm about an inch down from the points. I don't knit like right at the tips like this. But some people, especially sock knitters, tend to knit very tight, and they knit right off of the tips of the needles, and then they slide them down. And that little bit of taper doesn't sound like it would be much, but sometimes that can actually affect the gauge with knitting, so it only makes sense that it could also affect the gauge with crochet. So just a theory, no proof there, but just kind of a theory that makes a little bit of sense. So yeah, my supervisor Kristen is the one that had this theory involving the crochet, and that's when I remembered that it does do it with knitting as well. So that being said, I am going to insert the footage that you guys sent for show and tell. like to submit something for show and tell, we would love to see it. You can email me at KatrinasCreations@yahoo.com. Tell me a little bit about what you made, so that way we know what the pattern is, so more of us can make it if we really like it. And you can do it that way, or you can put it over on the Facebook page, which is Katrina Knits, and post it there. And if I see it posted there, I assume it's okay to post it on the podcast. And again, put down all the information you can about it, and I try to include that so that we can all drool over each other's projects and get ideas from each other's work. So anyway, so if you're new to the channel and you didn't know about that and wondered how to get over to the show and tell, that's what you do. Now, acquisitions, like I said, it's huge this week. I did not bring it up to the craft cave because it would have taken me numerous trips, and then I have to carry it all back downstairs again. So I actually filmed it downstairs, and I'm going to insert it here so you can see what I got. I will start the acquisitions with a diamond painting. It's a Christmas one. It's little kittens, and there's a Christmas tree and some Christmas balls here. And my grandkids were over the other week, and I was finishing up my diamond art, and they actually were really enjoying it. They were helping me out toward the end, and so when I saw this one for free, yes, free, I couldn't turn it down. I thought that would give them a nice little project. Here's what the full thing will look like. It's two little kitty cats and some Christmas trees, and they've knocked a ball on the ground. So that's item number 1. Item number 2, a lot of this comes from Joann Fabric, which has a partnership with my work. And what they do is when they get all the supplies in, they weed out what can be used for programs, but sometimes there's things that are just there's not enough of, or they're not something that's going to be used for a program, and then we are allowed to take some of it if we can use it. So I got more of this mesh. It's a type, it's not tulle, it's not as fine a netting, but it is a netting. There you can see it really, really well. It's the type that kind of looks like a honeycomb. It's very scratchy. A lot of times you see it used with crinoline. So these will be more of these little dish scrubbies. That's what these are going to turn into. So this one is kind of like a tan color, and the other one was a navy blue. So yeah, there's about a yard of it here, so I'll probably get another 3 or 4 dish scrubbies out of that. Then there were 2 books, one of which I gave to Kim when we were at the coffee shop the other night, because it was all baby knits, and my family, to my knowledge, is done with the babies, so I don't see any baby knitting in my future. However, her children aren't married yet, so she will have some coming in the future. So I gave that to her so it could be used, because there were some adorable little outfits in there. This is the other one, and this is a leisure arts, as you can see right here. It is scarves and cowls, and there are some beautiful patterns in here. Oh, and it says online tutorial. Look at that right there. Here's some other patterns that are in the book. So I can see me making some of these. They're really, really pretty. Here's a few more. So not sure how many total are in here. What if it says 12? There are 12 projects in here. So yeah, I will definitely be using that one, because you know I like cowls and scarves and shawls and all that kind of good stuff. Then there were some notebooks, and they have llamas on them. So of course I got 2 of them. They are just lined on the inside, but I like the fact that they're spiral. They're easy to write on. So I will probably use one as a planner for next year, because the planner I'm using this year was actually a lined book, and I just draw my own calendar and my dates and everything. But it doesn't stay open. This one's nice because you can flip it in half and work. So one of these will become my planner for next year. The other one I will probably use for writing patterns because it's also handy for the same reason. It's not as bulky as like a piece of notebook paper because it's got something solid behind it, but it's easy to sit on a table. It's not something that's going to take up a lot of space. So I will probably use this for pattern writing. And it has a llama on it. Did I mention it has a llama on it? Yeah. Then there was some material, and I saw this, and I just liked it. It kind of reminded me of the one sock blank that I got from Karen for the Yarn Advent Calendar. It was called Graffiti. This kind of reminds me of it because it kind of looks like paint splatter and drips and things, and it's purple, so yeah, you can't go wrong because it's purple. So yes, so there it is. And this is going to become, I'm not sure if it's, I have to see how much yardage is there. I'm going to see, I might make a skirt for myself, or I might make some, if there's not enough, I might make some project bags out of it. So there is that. Then there was a quilt kit, but I'm not using it for a quilt. It kind of reminds me of Aura Kylie prints with the leaves. But they kind of coordinate, because if you look at these leaves, they have little butterflies. I don't know how well it's going to show up, but there's little butterflies on them. And then there's some solid that also has butterflies on it. So I'm going to put these two together, and these are going to be, again, project bags. And so I'm going to kind of mix and match. There's a solid color in here that has like an embossed, you can just barely see it, an embossed little flowers on it. And then there are these two, which go together. They're the same colors, they're the same flowers, just one is big, one is little. So one of this will be the front, one will be the inside of the project bag. So yeah, there's some sewing in my future as well, apparently. Then I was walking by the withdraw pile at work. And from the main libraries, when they have something that hasn't checked out for about 2 years or more, or the condition of it is bad, they withdraw it. And so the first thing I saw was this, knit prayer shawls. And here's what the back looks like. And I have actually checked this book out before and brought it home and looked at patterns, so I was very excited when I saw it in the withdrawal pile. There's some beautiful patterns in here. It's a 15 different shawls and wraps. So there you go. And I think most of these are done with like a fingering to sock weight yarn. So I got that. And then I found this DVD. Now, if you've never seen this series, you should check it out. This is Anne of Green Gables. It's the 1985 version of it, which has Megan Follows in it, and Colleen Dewhurst and Richard Farnsworth. Of all the different Anne of Green Gables, this one's, I think, the best one. And I really enjoyed it. I've watched it numerous times. So this is the first one. There is a second one in the series called Anne of Avonlea. There's actually a third one, but it didn't go over as well because it was filmed like 15 years later, and it's out of time sync with the books. These were written by Lucy Montgomery, like back in the late 1800s, I believe. So that's what the movie is based on. But I really enjoyed it. And just a little bit of trivia for you. If you do watch, or if you have watched this movie, the girl who plays Anne's best friend, who is Diana Barry. In this particular version, the girl who is playing that part is actually Katharine Hepburn's niece. So I forget where I heard that or found that out. But anyway, just a little bit of trivia for you if you're interested. So I also got some silk flowers, but I'm not going to show those in the picture because they're already upstairs in the craft cave. But I got some kind of peachy pink roses and stuff to put up in the guest room. And I got some red ones for our living room. So that's the other two things. But they weren't crafty related, so I didn't show them. So I told you earlier that I met with Kim and Laureen over at 82 Cafe for some tea and coffee over on Thursday night. And so Alex, who is the owner of the coffee shop, she also knits. And if you remember a video back this past last summer, she was in that video. In fact, I was using the wrong camera and she kept having to like pop her head in and out of the screen because it didn't show up. So anyway, she was able to stick her head in, and she had just gotten a new book on knitting socks. It was 52 different patterns. 52 weeks of socks. I can't imagine making a pair of socks in a week unless you were doing absolutely nothing else. But anyway, it was a beautiful book. So I am also going to insert the footage so you can check out what Laureen and Kim and I are making and what we're drinking, because although we weren't drinking anything really like exotic last night, I was drinking Earl Grey tea because that's what I always drink. It's my favorite tea. And they weren't drinking any like special lattes or anything, I don't believe, last night. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. So let me insert our knit night footage.
You want me to show? Because this is what I'm making. It's a free pattern. And it's called Chevrolet. I'm pretty sure it's free. Pretty sure. Yeah, I didn't pay for it. I didn't steal it either, though. Yeah, definitely. This is... it took me probably 10 tries. But I finally have that much done of it. And this is a... pretty yarn. Plymouth Reserve, merino, wool, silk, and bamboo. Ooh,
that sounds
it's gonna be soft. Yeah.
Close so you can see the colors.
Yeah, very beigey, like just tonal. Cream and taupe or beige. Okay.
And what are you drinking?
Just today, I have to watch my calories. So it's coffee with sugar-free vanilla and cream. Oh, I put cream in it.
We won't. Well, okay, nobody will tell. And over here is Laureen.
Hi.
And what are you drinking tonight?
Just decaf coffee.
Decaf coffee. And what are you making? We were talking about how pretty this red is.
It's a lap blanket that I started in 2012 and I'm still not done with. But when this little bit of yarn is done, then I'm done.
And what was the yarn again?
It is Karen Simply Soft, 7 ounce. It's the autumn red. And so I probably bought this in at least 2010 or 2011.
And it's a really pretty glowing type of red. It's got a pretty sheen.
Yeah.
And you're doing this, is that double crochet or half double?
I don't remember. It's single, but it's in the back, so I forget what that's called.
Oh, okay, single through the back loop.
So it's making kind of a
Ridge.
It makes like a ridge, yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
And I'm working on my mosaic bucket bag.
hold it
Kim's going to hold it up for me.
It's beautiful.
There it
Wait a minute,
is.
let's turn it this way.
There we go. I just started another ring, and there's the bottom. And
It's
I'm
gorgeous.
just drinking Earl Grey tea. So that's what and I've got it about half gone.
And where did you get your pattern?
This is a free pattern off of Yarn and Chai, her podcast. And it's a 4-part series. She has a tutorial that goes along with it. So, and it's a lot of fun, and I don't have to think.
It's really thick, and it's
Yeah, because
really
it's
nice.
double thickness.
If you see it in person, it's even more impressive.
And as it's getting bigger, it's becoming so it kind of stands up on its own. It's got a little more structure to it. Yeah.
Got that oval bottom.
Yeah.
Kind of a bucket bag, like a bucket bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep, there it is.
let you hold on to them for now.
Okay, we're recording.
Okay.
Here's Alex.
Oh, you have room?
Yes. This is 52 Weeks of Socks by Lane Magazine. It's a beautiful book. I waited like 4 weeks. I pre-ordered it. It took forever to get here, but it's super exciting. There's these beautiful like full spread pictures, and everything is just, I don't know, it's the most beautiful book I've ever seen. I think I put a bookmark with the first sock I'm going to make. It is.
We'll have to cover up the pattern. So
Yeah, it's called Stone. It's just the pattern requirements right there, so it's not really part of the. Yeah, Stone, and it's by Tatiana Kolikova, probably Russian. I don't know. But yeah, I have a bunch of sock yarn that is going to go to a great use, and at least I can justify the strange amount of sock yarn I've bought over the years. But yeah, highly recommend this book. It's gorgeous.
Great. Now it's time for... Now in our Come and Get It section this week, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but there was a lot of videos that went out this week because there was sale after sale after sale coming through, especially Lion Brand. And then I put out a video on Friday because Bluprint and Knit Picks were both having good sales. So, yeah, and then I found out maybe why, because it turns out starting tomorrow on Sunday, it is National Crochet Week. Who knew? Anyway, National Crochet Week starts on Sunday, tomorrow, if you're watching this on Saturday. So let's get started with the Come and Get It section. Annie's has a couple of interesting patterns. Now, a lot of you have, I have not made this pattern yet, but I want to try it, and that's a C2C crochet, like a lapgan or an afghan type of thing. And so that's one of my projects. I have yarn up here to do it with in different shades of blue, which is going to go in the room that's on the other side of this wall, which is my husband's study, and that room is painted blue. The room I'm in is painted green. So, yeah, so anyway, I'm interested in the corner to corner. But this book is called Crochet the Center to Corner Way. It says it's a twist on the C2C, so I have no clue what that is, but there's several projects involved with that, and it is $9.99. And then because I was on an Afghan kick, I went over and looked at their knitting section in Annie's, and they have something called a Celtic Traveler Throw Knit. It's $6.99, but I thought it was gorgeous. Now Bluprint, you saw the sale if you saw it over on Facebook or the short little video I put up on Friday, but I'll tell you about it anyway because it ends on Sunday. So it ends on, what is Sunday, the 9th, I believe? 8th. 8th or 9th. I don't know. Whatever Sunday is, that's when it's going to be ending. I'll put the date up here and let you know. I've kind of lost track of what day it is today. But anyway, yeah, it ends on Sunday. They are running 40% off of 2 items. So if you buy 2 items, you get 40% off. You do need to use the coupon code SAVEDOUBLE to get that sale. And again, it ends on Sunday. So the Dollar Tree is also running a closeout sale on some yarn. You do need to buy the entire box or case of yarn, and there's 36 skeins in it, which sounds like a lot, except that it is Yarnspirations Bernat Beyond, which is, I believe, a bulky yarn just looking at it, because there's only, I think, 80 yards per skein, and just looking at the pictures, it looks like it's a bulky yarn. It's available in white, cream, and black. And so, yeah, $36, you can get 36 skeins of yarn and make lots of bulky items for people. Yeah. Anyway, that is Dollar Tree. Consumer Crafts as always, has the best deal on Lily Sugar and Cream, and that's $1.97, and they have like every color you can imagine, but that's the cheapest I've found it, so that is over at Consumer Crafts. Create for Less has Aunt Lily's number 3 crochet thread. I always forget if that's the thicker or the thinner. I think that's the thinner. I'm probably totally backwards. But anyway, it's the number 3, and it is on sale for $2.49 right now. Knit Crate is still offering their referral program, where if you buy from the link down below, you can get your first subscription box for $5, which is basically the cost of shipping it to you. So it's $5. You do need to sign up, use your credit card. However, if you don't want to continue it after the first month, you can cancel it right online. Just make sure you cancel it before the first of the month, because that's when they automatically bill you. So that's Knit Crate. Knit Picks is another one that I sent out a video on Friday about, because they are offering up to 40% off of their sock yarn. They also have their Felice yarn, which is also a sock yarn, for sale for 30% off. Now you might be going, I don't make socks. But just because it's a sock yarn doesn't mean you need to make socks with it. I actually have an entire book of shawls that are made with patterns. They're sock yarn shawls, and that's just the weight. If you use fingering weight yarn, sock yarn is just slightly a little bit thicker. Sometimes it's kind of interchangeable. If you're wondering how thick sock weight yarn is, it's about the equivalent of like a sport weight, or like your baby yarns, you know, the thinner baby yarns. That is about the thickness of it. So it can be used for multiple things, not just socks. So anyway, Knit Picks is having a sock sale right now, or sock yarn sale. Leisure Arts. Again, I'm on the crochet Afghan type of thing this week, apparently, for some reason. So I went looking over, and I found they have a book called Crochet Afghan Revival. It's $9.99, but you get 40 classic patterns. So it looked kind of interesting. And it does, if you read into it a little bit, when you look at it, you'll see that it tells you kind of what some of the patterns are that they've got in there. They also, I looked over in the knitting section, and they have Make in a Weekend Afghans to Knit. And it's only $4.95, or $4.99. It's $4.99. And it's labeled an easy to beginner knitter. So if you're an easy to beginner knitter and you want to try a bigger project, this might be a good idea for you. So anyway, they are Make in a Weekend Afghans to Knit. And then lastly, Lion Brand, again, is having yet another sale. They are having, it's called Bring On Spring. Yes, I'm ready for that. It's cold out here today, and they're calling for rain and possibly snow. My husband was outside doing some things in our neighborhood and said it's like really, really frigid outside. So yes, I agree with Lion Brand. Bring on the spring. So they are offering 20% off of select yarns. I don't know what those yarns specifically are, but if you use the link below, it'll take you over to that page and you can click through and see for yourself. It is 20% off of select yarns. You do need to use a coupon code SPRING20 in order to get that discount. So, yeah, that's it for this week. And I hope you have enjoyed our jam-packed podcast today with all these different little segments thrown in. Wednesday's segment, again, is going to be the final in the weaving, showing you how I took this off of the loom. I guess that's it for this week, so I will see you again on Wednesday, unless another good sale comes along, and then I'll pass the word on to you guys. Otherwise, I will see you Wednesday, and thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. It does help me with getting my videos out there. So thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you later.